What's going on, everybody? My Bad here with another bad knife adventure. Now, I got a comment on my Facebook for one of my videos, and they were asking me to describe some of the best budget items in knives and in sharpening there is out in the world. So let's clarify budget for me first. When I first got into this hobby, budget to me was like $30 and less, and then mid-grade was like $60–$70 and less, and then upper end was like $100 and less. That has changed completely now. My budget is like a $75 and less now. My mid-range is about around $150, $170 and less, and my upper end is $500 and less. So I'm gonna kind of go in between them two for budget. We're not going to go over $100 for budget, and there is nothing that has a start out price on my list that is even close to $100. Most of the start out prices are going to be about around $30 to $50. That's going to be the start out budget price on these knives, but they can get up to $100. And I do have notes right here, but it's not like it's anything that is laid out well. I just kind of looked at prices and looked at specs and wrote it down as I went, and everything's scattered everywhere. So every once in a while I'm going to reference this. I'm going to look at this and tell you the exact materials and prices for these items. We're going to go over knives first, of course, and then after knives we're going to hit on lights a little bit, flashlights, and then we're going to hit on sharpening, and then we're going to hit on multi-tools. So we're going to hit 4 things. I was going to throw in some watches on this, but as I'm actually starting to learn about watches, I'm listening to watch videos every night as I go to sleep. I'm talking to my boy, Salty Red Corn, appreciate all the information. I was talking to old not DG or improper EDC or whatever name he was going by, but he has since left the Discord about a week or 2 ago, and now I can't get information from him anymore. Wearing the Orient Sport watch today. I just came from camp straight to the house, and I've been unpacking the car and everything ever since. So I sat down for an hour and I looked up a bunch of prices and specs on what I thought were very good budget knives. So let's get at it. So the first knives that I'm going to talk about is Ganzo knives. They're Chinese. They make a lot of clone-ish type of knives. I've owned 3 of them, and I've given all 3 of them away, and the last one that I've owned, I still have the box to it. And this is kind of like a Osborne 940 knockoff. It comes with a pouch, got the Firebird on it, says Ganzo Tools. Is very, very nice. Pouch decent. Packaging came with this. These knives for Ganzo run 420C. 420C usually isn't like a really great steel or anything, but Ganzo does a wonderful job with their heat treat, and their 420C is excellent. The knives run excellent as long as you keep them maintained like you should with any of your knives. Ganzo is a good way to go. They'll run you anywhere from 25 to 30 bucks. They're not bad. So let's put this one out of the way. The next one that I have on my list is the Honey Badger. This is the knife of the kingdom. This is the only Honey Badger I've ever owned, and I'm a little ashamed to say this, but I should have owned a lot more back in the day. But I got this one because I thought it was going to look cool, and I sent it over to old Salty to do some work on it, and it came out pretty sweet. This is a medium size. They also come in small and large. They come in 8CR, 13 MOV. I believe some of them come in 9CR. I might be wrong on that. This one's in D2, and he did a tiger stripe pattern. But these will come in around the 40 to 50 mark, whether you get the small, the medium, or the large. I believe the most expensive one I saw was like $60. They're not expensive. Comes in FRN scales is the only real gripe that I can say about this knife. Besides that, it's excellent. It's a very good budget knife. There's nothing wrong with a Honey Badger. So this next one, the next brand that's coming up, there's going to be a few entries in this. Really, with this brand, there's nothing that you can go wrong with it, and that is CJRB. CJRB is one of the best budget knife brands there is. I'm going to go over one right now that I've only fidgeted with a little bit. I've never personally owned, but I have held it, I have used it. And that would be the CJRB Feldspar. It comes in a couple of different sizes as well. It's a 3.5 or a 3-inch blade. You can get the small or the regular. And they come in from around $37.95 or $38 to about $75 or $74.95. Now, the $75 one is an upgraded steel from the D2. So the Feldspar usually comes in D2 at the $37 or $38 price point. You get a lot of different colors on it. Get micarta on it, G10, all that good stuff. But the S35VN that's going to cost you $75 is a much upgraded steel from D2. D2, it's going to be a lot more stain resistant than the D2 with the same edge retention and a little bit, in my opinion, I'm probably wrong and somebody's going to be in my comment section telling me about it, but that's okay, I don't care. But in my opinion, S35VN is a little bit tougher. It's not as chippy as D2 at the higher Rockwell hardnesses. So this is a very excellent knife. Like I said, I've never owned it, but I have fidgeted with it. Now the next coming up is the CJRB Rhea, and I do own this knife. And there it is right there. It's about it's a little bit less than a 3-inch blade, so it's not for the biggest of hands, but you really don't need a big knife for your gentleman carry or your EDC anyways. This isn't like, we're not Rambo going up and down the streets cutting freaking heads off and snapping necks and stuff and trying to build forest fires with our knives or whatever Rambo does. But this thing, wonderful action, very fidgety. It's a liner lock. This one's got micarta. You can also get it in D2. This is an if I could stop dicking that up. But anyways, this is in AR RPM 9. This is the only powder formed budget steel on the market, and so far I've taken it work. I have used it and I've only stropped it up. It hasn't gotten a stain blemish on it. It's still razor sharp. I keep on using these knives to cut hair off of me, so I want to go bald on my arm pretty soon. But this is a very recommendable knife. Might not be what you're looking for, cuz, by the way, the guy that asked me this question is my cousin. His name's David. David, he's a cool dude. I believe that he's wanting to start to get into the EDC, and he said, hey, it'd be cool if he told us what entry-level items could be to get into EDC, so here we go. But that's a very wonderful knife. The next one that I want to talk about is the CJRB Centros. I've never touched this knife, but it has a very nice slick profile. It's got a thin laser beam blade from what I understand. Its price point is $36 to $43. That is very budget, and I've heard nothing but great things about the CJRB Centros. It comes in D2, and the upper scale price comes in micarta instead of G10. So you're going to get that grippy micarta like you do right there with the Rhea. And your hand oils will soak into it and patina it, and it will have a character of its own, and it'll look just great. I can show you a knife that I got in micarta. This is the OKC Rat 3. Look at them scales. These things were light when I first got it, but my handles are all in it. I've used it. All kinds of work on this. It's got fat wood resin in it. It's got sharpening oils in it. It's got my own handle palm oils in it. great looking knife now. It was already a great looking knife, but now it's got my character in it. It's got my soul in it. And that's something, if you're a micarta lover, you're going to kind of want to go towards. Now, to go to the next brand would be Civivi knives. Civivi knives, you really can't go wrong. There's all kinds of Civivis that you can get, and it's wonderful. So, since I have a Civivi knife, and y'all been wondering what's in the box, and we're up to 71 subscribers, I was going to wait to 75 to reveal it, but I'm going to go ahead and do this video and show you it since this question was asked of me. And I'm also going to do a reveal of what's in the box for you other people. At 100 subscribers, I'm going to give this knife away. If I hit 100 subscribers on the boat, the first thing that I'm going to do when I get off that boat is send it off to the winner. That's just how it's going to go. I don't know how I'm going to pick the winner yet. We'll do a video and we'll kind of brainstorm on how y'all think it would be fair for me to send it off. Might do comment picker, I don't know. But since we're here, let's find out what's in the box. You got a very nice taco package. Got a nice little rag. You got the Civivi brand instructions on how to maintain your knife. You got a couple cool stickers. And then we got the Civivi Elementum in wood and Damascus. Now, this is a bit of a Franken knife from what I've gathered. I have not found a knife on the market that comes in wood and Damascus, but I did find one coming in this wood, but it had a blade finish with the black PVD or that other black coating that was on the blade, and then the Damascus came in, I think, carbon fiber. And they were priced at different amounts. One was like 68 and the other one was about around 82. So this put together, I consider about a $70 knife, whatever. So this is what I'll be giving away for the 100 subscriber giveaway. Very cool Elementum. But that's a wonderful budget knife as well, since the start outs are coming in at $50.15, and that would be with D2 steel and G10 scales. Now it goes all the way up to $107, but you're talking about like Damas steel, carbon fiber, button locks. They also come in button locks, they're flippers like that, and they're fixed blades. So you got all kinds of variety of what you want to pick out with the Civivi Elementum. So the next thing is the Civivi Praxis. This is probably one of the best budget knives. I'd say I've never owned one, but I've held plenty of them. I don't know why I haven't owned one, to be honest with you. I don't know why I haven't owned the Civivi Praxis. I'm kind of kicking myself for not owning it. But it's probably one of the top 5 best budget knives ever existed. And it comes with a price of $42.50 to $74.80. And I could only find one knife that was up there, and it was in Damascus steel. Now, the $42.50 is going to come in G2 and non-CR18 MOV. You're thinking CR MOV, that's some garbage steel. Listen, it's not 8CR13 MOV. There's a couple of knives on here that's going to have that stuff on them, but there's a reason for me putting them on this list with the 8CR13 MOV. There's a reason, and I'll get to that, and it'll probably be the last knives I talk about. But non-CR18 MOV is wonderful steel. It is very comparable to D2 with edge retention and ease of sharpness, and it's stainless. There is nothing wrong with non-CR18 MOV. It's wonderful. That AR RPM 9 is like a powder form version of non-CR18 MOV. It is freaking wonderful. Love it. Now, one of the last, the second to last Civivi knife. Well, it's not the second to last. It's the middle Civivi knife. And I've owned this knife, but I don't own it anymore because I gave it to my wife. This is a knife for small hands, and that would be the Civivi Odium. Nice little flipper. Got a nice finger tool. Even with my medium and large size hands, if I choke up to that finger tool, I get a full grip. It's very slicey, very scalpel-like blade. Comes in D2 and G10. They are coming in at a price of $52.70 to $85. Now the $85 is very, very upgraded. It'll have a whole lot of other things. And this is a Farham Forged design knife. Farham Forge is a wonderful knife company as well. I wouldn't put them in the budget category for this video, but if we was talking about the next step up, I would definitely recommend Farham Forge. Now the other two I have not owned. They're very, very similar, and one of them is probably my personal favorite looking Civivi, and I have not touched it, and I need to get it in the Praxis. But there's so many knives out there, and I've only got so much money, and I've got certain grills that I am trying to get. So I kind of pushed the budget blades to the side so I can go out and get those higher end knives. But that would be the Dogma and the Ortis. The Dogma comes with a thumb stud where you kick it out with thumb stud. It's not a flipper, and the Ortis is a flipper, and it's got the little cutout right here, so you might be able to spotty flick it. Like I can't do it with the Ortis because my hands are too big and the knife's too small, but you can flip it just like the Ortis, the Odium. The Ortis comes in from $39.95 to $89.95. Now the $39.95 is non-CR18 MOV, once again wonderful steel, and it comes in FRM, not G10 though. But the $89.95 comes in carbon fiber scales, very nice carbon fiber scales, and Damascus steel. The Dogma is in D2 and G10, and that's a $47.75, and the upper end, which is $85, comes in copper scales and Damascus. So I want to hit on another knife. You can get this knife at Walmart for about $62. I know that this is a little bit above the $50 mark on the budget, but it is a knife that is worth mentioning, and that is the Kershaw Blur. It's an assisted knife that can be de-assisted very easily. All we got to do is take the spring out, and it is still very usable. It's a wonderful knife being de-assisted. It's coming in 14C28N, and then it comes in textured aluminum scales, and you can get it at Walmart for about $62. If you're wanting you a knife that you can get just about anywhere for a budget price, definitely go to Walmart and get you a Kershaw Blur. One of the best knives ever made, in my opinion. Another knife, I've had two of them. I've given them both away. Wonderful knives. I don't give crap knives away. I always give pretty decent knives. Depending on who the person is the type of knife that I'm going to give you. These people were going to beat on these knives. These people were going to destroy these knives. So I gave them a tough frame lock, a Reich P801. They come in from $29.95 to $34.95. If you get the $34.95, you're getting the all blacked out P801. If you're getting the $29.95, it's just all stonewashed. And it's coming in with 14C28N and stainless steel handles. It's a wonderful knife. I like them. I'll keep buying them if I can get them for a good deal under this price, because I buy most of my knives secondhand. So side autos, if you want to get an auto, the only side auto that I can recommend is Boker in the Strike and in the Kalashnikov. More generally, the Kalashnikov, just like this. I've owned multiple of these. I've given multiple of these away. I've got another one back there to give away. It's got wonderful action. They got all kinds of blade styles. These are discontinued because they come in the Oz 8 steel. And Boker is going to D2 steel. So they've discontinued all of these in Oz 8 and they're going to D2. So they're upgrading in steel. And if you can still find these Oz 8s, they're not bad at all for what they are. And you can get them for a very good sale price because everybody's putting them on sale and getting rid of them. Wonderful little side openings. Now, the next OTF I want to talk about is the Lightning OTF, and the only place that I know to get that is on grindworks.com. And the Lightning OTF is a wonderful budget OTF. It's coming in 440C, I believe. And it's not as cool as this Axial or anything, and it's not exactly this design, but this is just to show you what an OTF is. And I've given away multiple of these OTFs. Little bad's out running around. But I've given out multiple of these Lightning OTFs to co-workers, and they love them. They can't destroy them, and I work in a very rough industry on the boats. So that's a wonderful one. They come in about around 25 to 30-ish, depending on if you get the regular Lightning or you get the Lightning Elite. Another one I want to talk about that I personally have, and I do not know where it's at, but I will pause the video and go get it. Alright, I'm back. I went and got the knife, got me a little bit of water. Y'all can tell my voice is changing a little bit, getting a little dry. Need some water. Been talking for 21 minutes straight. Yeah, got Little Bad right here. Little Bad wants to be in the video as usual. So, what I have here is the CRKT Pilar 3. Pilar 3, however you want to say it. You say it, it's cool with me. I call it Pilar 3 or Pilar 3. Whichever one comes out my mouth first. But anyways, it's a wonderful knife. To me, this right now is my favorite budget knife, period. It is definitely in my top 5 knives that make me happy. It's one of my favorite knives, period. And the one that I got had the bronze back spacer, and my buddy Salty Red Corn did some work on it and made that a chipped rock copper back spacer, and it came in D2. Now you can get the 8CR13 MO V1 for $38.95, but I'm going to tell you right now, do not get that knife. Get the D2 one. Go get some work done on it. This thing is awesome. This is easily in my top 5 favorite knives. It is in the top 5 favorite knives that make me happy. I love it. What's up, Little Bad? Love you. Yeah? This thing's awesome. If I was to tell you to get any of these budget knives, I would tell you to get this one. This is absolutely my favorite, period. Love that thing. But this isn't about one knife, and I'm not the guy that tells you every single knife to get. But if you want my opinion, these are the knives that I'm running down the list to tell you. Now the QSP Penguin, it's got a sheep's foot blade on it. It's a wonderful box cutter. You can do a lot of work with the QSP Penguin. It comes in all kinds of different colors of micarta, and it starts at $32.66, and it's got D2 steel micarta, and it's got wonderful action for a budget knife. You really cannot go wrong with the QSP Penguin either. I've always wanted to get an upgraded version of it in S35 VN, but every time that they come out, first of all, I have a thing where I don't buy Chinese knives firsthand. I always get them on the secondhand market, and they're very hard to find in S35 VN on the secondhand market. So that's the reason why I haven't owned one. Now, to go on to the last three companies for the knives. I want to talk about the OG of budget knives. This is the OG, triple OG, everything OG. And this is the Ontario Knife Company, or OKC, Rat 1 and Rat 2. What I have right here is a gift knife, and it is a Rat 1. The Rat 2 comes a little bit smaller profile, but you cannot mention budget knives without saying OKC. Ontario Knife Company has been the budget knife of budget knives for 10 years. Easy. Rat 2 and Rat 3. Yeah, I haven't changed the pocket clip down. I figured I'd let that guy do it. And this the way it is when it came in the package, I have not messed with it. But the Ontario Rat 1 comes in at $29 for Oz 8 steel. This one was D2. I would prefer D2 over Oz 8 any day, even if I'm out on the water, because I can go send that off and get it patinaed and get it looking nice. And the rat tooths come in between 31 and 50 from what I saw on the internet. Now, before I get to the very last company that is only 8CR13 MOV, I want to talk about buck knives. There is nothing wrong with carrying a buck 110 or 118. 110 or 112. I can't remember the smaller version, but there's a smaller version of the 110, and there's nothing wrong with carrying it. This is going to be an OG for, you know, this has been an OG since the 40s. You can never go wrong with a buck. If you don't believe me about buck knives, you need to go talk to Isaac Nude, the Backwoodsman. Shout out to Isaac Nude, the Backwoodsman. If you're not subscribed to him, you're subscribed to me, go subscribe to Isaac. Isaac has a lot of information on his channel that would be helpful for you to watch. So the last knives that I want to get into is actually my favorite brand by far, but I'm disappointed in their budget knives because they don't use better steel. But if you want an introductory to a Spyderco, there's nothing wrong with buying an Efficient, and Tenacious, or an Astute. The Efficient is the smaller brand, the Tenacious is the middle brand. It's got about a 3.4 inch blade, and the Astute's got about around a 4-inch blade and a bigger hand grip. But any of those you can check out, and they all start around $45. What I have right here is a Manix 2 Lightweight in BD1N. This comes in at $108, but I'm showing you this because it is the cheapest Spyderco that I own, besides a couple of lightweight pair of 3s. But this was my first Spyderco. This was my first introductory to Spyderco. I've owned this knife for almost 3 years now, and I still love it. I still carry it, and it still has wonderful action. As you can see, I probably need to clean it, because like I said, I use it, and it's wonderful still. You got that forward choke up, got enough hand grip to get in the back. It's got plenty of blade to do anything. It's a freaking laser beam. I'm not saying that it's Chaparral laser beam, but it's still a laser beam. Now to go on to lights. If you are wanting to carry a light in your system and you're wanting to carry a multi-tool, you can go pick up one of these pouches off of Amazon. Any of them that are leather, I would agree to, as long as it's real pure leather. I also got a pen pouch right here where I keep my little Chinese tactical pen, but this is where I keep my light, and this is where I keep my multi-tool. I've got them out right now because I'm about to show them to you. But the light that I've been carrying lately, because I've lost my other night, is the Through Night T1. I've also had some Wow Tacks and some other things. This is the box it comes in. Got it in neutral white. You can get it in a few other colors. And my wife, she wanted one of those, but I got her something a little bit bigger. I got her a Wow Tack. It's a little bit bigger light. It's got your glass breakers up here, or whatever you want to call them. It's a tail cap as well. Pretty decent. Pretty bright. But you can't go wrong with Wow Tack or Through Night. Another company I want to give a shout out to on that is Olight. I've never owned an Olight. I don't agree with their proprietary batteries because it's just a pain in the ass to figure out. I'd rather just throw whatever batteries in there I want to. Through Night and Wow Tacks are rechargeable though, so I really don't mess with batteries anyways. There's another Rovivon. Rovivon's a wonderful little keychain flashlight as well. Nothing wrong with Rovivon. If you get a Rovivon, you're probably doing alright. I've had a bunch of them. I do not know where they went. I go to the boat and for some reason all my tools and gear come up missing half the time. But they haven't lately because I've moved out of that place. Going on to sharpening systems. The only sharpening system that I've ever used is those little pull-throughs that are garbage, don't ever get a pull-through. And Arkansas whetstones and this Lansky. Now, me and Lansky's had problems on different things. By the way, I fixed my fine diamond sharpener, but I'm redone my whole entire kit with straight diamond stones and a strop. So I'm stropping now with a Lansky, and I'm using nothing but diamond stones. What I was using were these ceramics, and what happened is I move and move and move, so I'm probably going to get me one of these other systems so I can travel with it. But you see that this part broke off on these from all the bouncing and stuff inside the case in my backpack. So they're probably not the best for shaking around and whatnot. So that system will cost you anywhere from like $40 to $100. The system that I got is probably around the $100 mark now. The system that I did have is around the $40 mark. Now the next things I want to talk about is the workshop. You can get the precision, the benchtop angle, the guided workshop system, or the entry electric belt fed system, all for around $50. And all of those are great. I would personally go with the precision if it was me buying one of those. But if you're a little bit lazier on the sharpening, go ahead and get the electric belt guided system for $50. There's nothing wrong with that. And then to finish us out, we're going to talk about some multi-tools. Now I carry a multi-tool about every day. I carry the Leatherman Wave. This comes in at about around $110, but you can get an entry level around $35. You can also get other brands like SOG or Gerber. There's nothing wrong with them. I just prefer Leatherman because Leatherman has a wonderful warranty. You can send this in second-hand, first-hand, doesn't matter, and Leatherman will fix your tool. All you gotta do is get a hold of them through email. And then Victorinox. You can never go wrong with Victorinox. Who doesn't want to be a Boy Scout? Go out and have all the fun you want in the woods or whatnot. There's so many uses for Victorinox, it's unreal. People look at Victorinox or the Victorinox knockoffs or one of the better Boker multi-tools that's in the Victorinox setup, and they're all wonderful. I believe that this is going to be one of the longest videos I've ever done, so I'm going to leave it at that. If there's anything else that you would like to see from old My Bad, give My Bad a shout in the comments section or on Facebook or on Instagram. Please like and share and subscribe my videos. Comment on my videos. If you're not sharing my videos, go ahead and share it to the world, because I'm at 71 subscribers, and at 100 subscribers I will be showing you, I will be sending you what's in the box. And what's in the box is a pretty sweet Elementum. If you haven't seen already, go back about 20 minutes ago and I'll show you again. Y'all have a good one. Bye bye.